Welcome, fellow game makers and publishers. My name is Selena. I am an half vampire and an archmage with an order level 3. And in this video, we're going to learn how influencer marketing works and how you can get an influencer to promote your game. This video is for those who are new to influencer marketing. We are going to be setting expectations and explaining how to execute a successful campaign. First, let's start with a common misconception. You have finished your game after years of hard work. You quit your job, spent all your savings, and maybe even signed a deal with the devil to complete it. Now, you just need some players. The myth behind influencer marketing is that you simply reach out to someone on Twitch and they fall in love with your game, stream it to their followers for a few hours, and voila, success. And suddenly you get 10,000 wishlist signups, and you live happily ever after. But that is almost never how it works. It's a bit more complicated than that. Influencer marketing is not hard by any means, it just has a few more steps, and that is what I am here to guide you through. The first step is sourcing your influencer. Sourcing is like dating, except the end goal of the relationship is for someone to make and promote content about your game. Like dating, you want an influencer who is in your league. And your league is determined by your budget. If you have $1,000, your league is around nano and micro influencers. If your budget is $5,000, then your league might be a mid-level influencer. And so on. Here is a chart that estimates the price ranges you can expect based on follower size. Think about your budget and who you can afford. Also, your budget should take into account working with multiple influencers, not just one. Consider working with at least 3. And maybe even up to 20 for diversification. Just like dating, you need to set some standards. Are they employed, not living in their parents' basement with their best friend being an iguana? Are they a 4-time convicted felon? You can't just date anyone. With influencers, size is not everything, as smaller sizes can pack a punch and get the job done. And by size, I hope you know we are talking about their followers count on their social platforms, but it is their engagement rate combined with their followers that matters. As you look through profiles, let us say you find an influencer with 100,000 followers, but their videos only get 1,000 views on average. That is an engagement rate of 1%. That seems a bit low, to be honest. They might have fake followers, and honestly, at that engagement rate, you get more value from traditional advertising. Now, let us say they have 100,000 followers and get 10,000 views on average per video. That is a 10% engagement rate, and is someone who seems like a much better fit for promoting your game. With our standards in place, we are now swiping left for the duds and swiping right for the keepers. Before you can shoot your shot to begin the courtship, you have to find their contact information. Some influencers have their business email on their accounts. For others, finding their contact information can be like digging for a lost pirate treasure in an Indiana Jones movie. Ideally, you need to figure out which channels they respond to so you can make contact and offer them your game. Now it is time to shoot your shot. This part really becomes a numbers game, like sales. In other words, you are going to be doing a fair amount of swiping here. At least 50 swipe rights, meaning you should reach out to a minimum of 50 influencers who you think might be a good fit for your game. Also, do not just send one message. Send multiple messages, ideally between 3 and 6 before you give up. Persistence pays off, and being the person who does not get the hint is actually a good thing here. Once they respond, some will be okay with the terms you have set and will want to jump right into the game. But many will want to learn more about your game and negotiate. And if they have agents representing them, they will definitely want to negotiate. During the negotiation phase, there are 3 very important things you want to discuss, which are deliverables, time frame, and content usage. Deliverables are what you expect the influencer to do. For example, stream for 2 hours on YouTube, create TikTok videos, maybe tweet once, or make a post on Reddit. Do you want a how-to video? A video on the top 10 areas to explore while playing your game? Or something else? Basically, where do you want the content to be displayed and what kind of content do you want? After the deliverables, set up a time frame. A common mistake for those new to influencer marketing is getting an agreement from an influencer without setting a deadline, which can lead to deliverables being completed months later, and sometimes on the 12th of never, so set a fair timeline between you and the influencer. The third and probably the most important part of the contract is content usage rights. A very common mistake is thinking that just because you pay them to create the content, you own the content and can do as you please. This is false. Content attribution, aka ownership, must be assigned. The influencer can license the content to you for a certain amount of time, or you both can have the right to use the content however you please in perpetuity. I really like that word, perpetuity. Means forever. Finally, we come to payment. All of the negotiations with deliverables, content usage, and the time frame can all affect how much the influencer will charge. Some require payment upfront, others require payment on milestones, and others prefer payment after the job is done. Now that the payment terms, deliverables, time frame, and content usage rights established, we can throw all of that into a magic contract cooking pot. In the contract cooking pot, add the negotiated terms, sprinkle some more legal jargon, stir it up, then add a little redlining with some salt and pepper, a dash of paprika, and finally, a few signatures, and you'll get the contract signed and the work can begin. Yay. Now millions of people are going to see your game and download it. We are done. Well, we are not quite done yet, actually. Here comes the next tricky part, ensuring the quality of work that best represents your game. In some contracts, you might have a pre-approval process where you want to review and vet the influencer's work before it goes out. In other cases, you might want to sit in on the stream or get a recording of the stream to make sure the influencer is actually playing your game and not just running a random stream with a few minutes of your game. And if they are posting short-form or long-form content on various social platforms, you need to keep track of that too. Also, this is the perfect time to address another huge misconception that you only want an influencer to stream your game on Twitch, YouTube, and maybe TikTok. While streaming is like a 2-hour-long commercial where people watch exclusively about your game, the problem is that when the stream ends, so does the publicity. You should also consider the production of short and long-form content. A good tweet or a short TikTok video can stay relevant for months on an influencer social page. And if they create a killer Reddit post, the brand awareness generated for your game can last for years. So consider other forms of promotion beyond just live streaming. But whatever content they create and wherever they post it, you need to be able to track it and make sure it aligns with the deliverables in your contract. Now, after the content is posted, you are going to get millions of installs and retire to a warm tropical island to drink piña coladas all day. Well, not quite. People are funny when they buy games, and influencer marketing is hard to track. Let me know how much this behavior resembles you. When people are going to buy a game after seeing it in an ad or from an influencer, they actually Google the game, which messes up the attribution to a source. Then, through Google, they might look for reviews, find it on the Steam or Apple Store, and go to it. Now, they will not necessarily buy it right away. They'll sit and think on it, and then suddenly and at random, they will buy it a few months later. How many times have you done any of this when buying a game? Influencer marketing is part of building brand awareness around your game, which a person might have to see a few times before they actually buy it. So do not be disappointed if they do not buy right away after your influencer campaigns have ended. Now, if all of this seems like a lot of work, which it actually is, that is why influencer marketing can be a full-time job or why people hire agencies to handle this process. There are services like Glitch that make the whole process easier. This ranges from a database of influencers to search through, to managing outreach campaigns, automated contract generation, tracking results, and handling payouts. It basically allows you to be a one-man or one-woman army with ease for influencer marketing. And that is my spiel on influencer marketing. I hope this gave you some basic expectations on how to proceed, and I wish you much success with your game's launch and growth.